You are not alone. You're not alone in your job search or your career transition. And most of the time, we just don't get out, we don't talk to people about what we're going through. So I hope you hang out together today, that you network, and you have a really good time. It's going to be fun. So when I was asked to put this presentation together, I was very excited because at Dear Jane, we coach and help people into jobs, get into jobs, and mostly people between the ages of 40 and 70. So I have a lot of experience coaching people, 50-plus workers, into jobs, and it's a lot of fun for me. So the corporate landscape has changed in 2009. So what I really want you to know is that the game has changed. So the way hiring managers hire today, because of the economic crisis going on, is very different than the way they hired a year and a half ago. They're offering more long-term contracts, consulting, maybe not as many permanent jobs, but there are thousands of jobs out there today. And in the Bay Area, especially in the Bay Area and in California. So that's what I want you to know. I know people, I see a lady and she's like, wow, you know, you can tell with her eyes. We at Dear Jane communicate the exact opposite of what the news is communicating and what your friends and family are communicating to you. So I want to congratulate you for getting out of the house today and making an investment in yourself and coming to this job fair. You won't regret it and you'll have a good time. The power of mature workers. So I took an article and I took some content from this article by Joyce Finn. It was an article written in 2008 from Inc.com. The AARP study shows that 70% of employees nearing 62 and older plan to work well into their retirement years. And I am pretty sure that the retirement age has been increased to 70. And our clients that are 58, that are 60, are raring to go. A lot of you have started your jobs or started your careers when you were right out of high school or right out of college. AT&T, I have a lot of clients that work at AT&T and have been laid off, and they're only 45, 52, 55, and they're not ready to quit. They're not ready to stay home and go fly fishing or knit. The Bureau of Labor Statistics study states that the employment of mature workers 55 to 64 is expected to climb by 36.5%. For those 65 and older, the employment numbers will soar by 80%. Now, this is full-time work, this is contract work, this is part-time work. Really important for you to know, if you go to bls.gov, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, you will find a warehouse of information. And at the aarp.com or .org website. AARP's Public Policy Institute states workers aged 55 and over will account for more than 90% of projected labor force growth over the next decade. Do you know why? Because all of you sitting in this room have the intellectual capital and expertise that corporations need. Small, mid-sized, and large corporations. So when you all really retire at the age of 70, or 55 or 60, we will have a huge brain drain in this country. Okay? So it's really important. That's what you're selling. That's the main thing you're selling, is your expertise and your intellectual capital and your experience. Really important to not forget that. The number of employed men and women aged 55 and older grew by nearly 2.3 million, or 9.7% between 2005 and 2007. So like I said, we've been working, Dear Jane was our brainchild 15 years ago. Julie Youngblood is a co-founder of Dear Jane. She's the right hand of me. And we were thinking about starting Dear Jane 15 years ago, and then we finally did it 5 years ago. So in the last 5 years, well, we've been coaching and people into jobs for 9 years, and then the last 5 years, we were former recruiters together and headhunters. So for 12 years, we've been coaching and placing people into jobs. So we know these statistics are true because a lot of our clients are between the ages of 40 and 70. Okay, So what's the benefit? Why should a hiring manager hire you? What do you bring to the table? It's really important for you to communicate your value and to qualify and quantify your accomplishments. And I said this at a job search about a week ago. One day we're the VP of software at abc.com, and the next day when we've been laid off, we feel like we have no value. I mean, just in 24 hours, you feel like I have no value, I don't have a life, I've been kicked to the curb, what is the deal with these people? And the reality is your paycheck just doesn't come from abc.com anymore. It comes from EDD. But nothing about you has changed in those 24 hours. Nothing. If anything, you're a lot more relaxed. Well, no, not in the first 3 weeks, you're not relaxed. But I guarantee you, after the 3 weeks of being laid off, believe me, you look lighter, fresher, happier, and you're like, how did I ever do that? And I don't think I want to go back. Okay. So we hire you because we can gain expertise and loyalty. We can reduce our hiring and labor costs because we trust that you are loyal and you will stay with us. You're not going to be changing jobs. How do we know that? Because you submitted a resume with 20 years of experience. Please, when you're writing your resume, don't leave off. Don't send us a resume as recruiters with 10 years of experience. I know that's what you hear, but please don't do that. And we see based on your resume that you've worked for 20 years. And most of you in this room have probably only worked at 1 to 2 jobs. I mean, 1 to 2 companies, and maybe been in the same profession for 30 to 40 years. Or maybe been at the same company in the same industry for 30 to 40 years, but had 5 to 10 different positions, okay? So we know you're loyal. We can reduce the medical costs because some of you don't require benefits. We work with a lot of people that say, my wife has all the benefits, my husband has all the benefits. I'm next stage in my career. I want to work part-time. I want to teach kids how to work with software. I don't need anything but a paycheck. I don't need the benefits. So that's a reduced cost to the hiring manager. The other thing about your age group is that you're reliable. I'm not kidding you. There are people we coach. I teach resume writing to 13-year-olds, and my 13-year-olds get a job, and I work with people up to 70. But the young people right out of college that are 22, 25, who are we're coaching into $60,000 a year jobs when it took us, my dad, 20 years to make $60,000. They have a different attitude. It's okay. It's just the way they were raised. Their attitude is, my one client from Lockheed, young man that went to Santa Clara University, and I always talk to him about the multi-generational workforce because I'm really fascinated with it and we have to embrace it. He says, yeah, I just show up at 8:30. That's when I need to show up. Our age group doesn't show up at 8:30. We get there at least a half hour to an hour before, and we stay at least a half hour to an hour after. We count on you for that. As hiring managers, we know you'll do that. We know that we know you have a strong work ethic. I'm not saying that they don't have a strong work ethic, it's just a different type of work ethic.